All right, in this lesson we're going to be solving by factoring. The solution is the value of the variable when it is isolated on one side of the equation. Other names for the solutions is zeros, roots, and x-intercepts. The number of zeros is always the same as the degree for the polynomial. Keep in mind there may be double roots in each one of the polynomials also. So to solve by factoring, you want to first set the equation equal to 0, then factor the polynomial, and then lastly set the factors equal to 0. In this example, first thing you want to do is subtract 19x from both sides to set the whole equation equal to 0, and then factor the polynomial. Well, the degree of the polynomial is 2, so that tells us that there's going to be 2 solutions. And we want to factor the polynomial, so we're going to write the first term and the last term and then multiply the first and the last coefficient to get 42. And then we ask ourselves what two numbers, when we multiply them, give us 42, and when we subtract them, give us 19. Those two numbers are 21 and 2. The bigger of the two numbers should have the same sign as that middle linear term. So negative 21x and positive 2x. And then factor by grouping. In the first two terms you can factor out a 3x, leaving you with 2x minus 7. And then the second two terms you want to factor out a positive 1. And you'll end up with 2x minus 7. Now both terms have a 2x minus 7 common to them, so you can factor out the 2x minus 7, and that will leave you with 3x plus 1. Once you have both everything factored, set the factors equal to 0 and solve for x. So when we set the first factor, 2x minus 7 equal to 0, we get 7 over 2. And then when we set the other factor, 3x plus 1 equal to 0, we get negative 1/3. In this example, same steps. It's already set equal to 0, and you have 4 terms, so you're going to factor by grouping. The degree of the polynomial is 4, so you should have 4 zeros or 4 solutions. The greatest common factor for the first, for all the terms, is x, so I can factor out an x. And then I'm going to factor by grouping. I'm going to pull an x squared out of the first two terms. That'll leave me with 3x minus 2. And then as a shortcut, you can just ask yourself, what do you have to multiply 3x by to get that third term, negative 15x? And the answer is negative 5. So that's letting you know that you're factoring out a negative 5 from those last two terms. And that'll leave you with 3x minus 2. You have a 3x minus 2 common to both terms, so you can factor out the 3x minus 2. And that will leave you with x squared minus 5. Set all the factors equal to 0. When we set x equal to 0, we get our first 0, which is 0. And then when we set 3x minus 2 equal to 0, we get x equals 2 over 3. And then when we set x squared minus 5 equal to 0, we get plus and minus the square root of 5. So those are all 4 of our roots. Keep in mind whenever you're writing out your answers and go formative, to write them, write the rational root zeros first, then the irrational, then the complex roots last.